That palette that her lawyer was holding was entered into evidence. The palette that didn't exist until 2017. Like I said in my last video about this Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case, there has been new things popping up so much that I cannot keep up with it. I keep trying to be on top of it, but there has been so much that it's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen a case like this. No, I definitely have not. It has been a wild ride. If you guys did not watch my video about Milani Cosmetics, I'm gonna have it linked down below. Go watch that video because I have an update about that. If you want a brief recap of the situation with Milani Cosmetics instead of hearing the whole thing and all the extra details, basically Amber Heard's lawyer got up in her opening statement during day one of the trial and she showed this Milani makeup and she said that this is the makeup that Amber Heard carried in her purse the entire marriage to Johnny Depp, that she would use to cover up her bruises, and that she will testify how she mixed all the colors together to put them on her face to cover up the bruises.
This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. This was what she used. She became very adept at it. You're going to hear the testimony from Amber about how she had to mix the different colors for the different days of the bruises as they developed in the different coloring, and how she would use these to touch those up to be able to cover those.
People ended up finding that makeup palette and going to Milani about it because it was a Milani makeup palette. Milani posted on their TikTok that the palette had not been released until 2017, which was after Johnny Depp and Amber Heard got divorced.
This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. She's an actor. Do you honestly think she would have left her apartment ever without makeup?
So how did Amber Heard use a makeup palette the whole marriage when it didn't come out until after the divorce? There has been some new information about this. This is going to be to the people who have said that, well, they probably didn't mean the exact palette. You just wait. You just wait. Something kind of like blows that out of the water, and I'm going to tell you guys about that in just a second. But one thing I want to mention before is that I've seen a lot of people accuse Milani of lying about the release date of this makeup, because there was an article that was posted in 2016 that had pictures of this palette in it, describing this palette, which, by the way, it's not a palette described to cover up bruises either, which is weird. Anyways, people were accusing Milani of lying. An example of things that people were saying is, everyone knows makeup products can transform every few years of a better version than itself. I'm sure Milani had color corrector palettes before, and this was used as an example. Also, there's an article from 2016 about this palette, so that's not mathing either, is it? Now, apparently, if you use Wayback Machine and you go back to that article, the photos were not added until way after, so that when that article was originally posted, there weren't photos of this palette on it yet. Here's a video of someone using the Wayback Machine to go back to this article and to see what it looked like in June of 2016 when it was posted. And as you see, there was no photos of this Milani palette on this page at the time, which means that it had since been edited and had the makeup palette added into it. But if you go and you look at it now, it shows the makeup palette, but this palette was not on this article in 2016. But also on that note, people who thought that that palette was released in 2016 and that Milani had lied, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's marriage was over at the time that the article was posted. So even if that was the time it was released, it was still the end of their marriage, and her lawyer said she carried that palette in her purse the whole marriage, which was 15 months. When this came out, everybody was talking about how this could lead to impeachment, because if Amber Heard gets up there and testifies that she used this palette and how she used it, which is what her lawyer promised to the jury she was gonna do, that's completely dishonest, and there's proof of that. Now people are saying, well, they're probably gonna say it's not that exact palette, because there's lots of palettes where they have, like, you know, different colors in them, and they probably meant something like that. Even though they didn't say something like this palette, They said, this palette. If you're one of those people like me that was thinking maybe they'll say it wasn't the exact palette, well, let me tell you something. On the Fairfax County.gov website, you can actually go through and look at all of the exhibits that have been entered in as evidence. You know, as we're watching the trial, they'll say enter exhibit number blah, blah, blah into evidence. This can be statements, videos, audio, physical items, anything that they have that they want to enter in as an exhibit, they can. On the website, you can scroll through everything that's currently been put into it. It was brought to my attention by somebody who left me a comment that they entered in Amber Heard's makeup palette as exhibit 155. Here on the Fairfax County Gov website, you can go and select high profile cases that are currently happening. Right here we have John C. Depp II versus Amber Laura Heard. You can click this and you can see a list of all of these documents. And everything is very detailed. If it is an audio recording, it says that. If it is a picture, it says that. If it is a statement, a witness statement, a text message, whatever is entered in as an exhibit says exactly what it is. Exhibit 155 says Amber Heard makeup palette, which means that palette that her lawyer was holding was entered into evidence. The palette that didn't exist until 2017. Now here we have a defendant's exhibit list. This opens up all of Amber Heard's exhibits. It is super detailed and there is a very large list. As you can see, if it's an article, it will say it's an article. If it's an email, it says it's an email. If it's a text, it says it's a text. Well, right here on exhibit 155, we see Amber Heard makeup palette ALH_18280. Her makeup palette was added into evidence in this case. Now, what does that mean for this? If it was entered in as evidence, I was originally thinking maybe she'll be able to get away with it by being like, well, it wasn't that one. I used something like that. How do you get away with it now if it's entered into evidence, the physical palette? Like, what does that mean if the judge is made aware of that? If she's made aware that that palette didn't even exist, I don't know what can get you in trouble or what can't. Maybe one of you guys are more educated on that than me and can explain to me how there can be a physical makeup palette entered in as evidence that didn't even exist yet. I thought maybe Amber will get up there and they'll just skip that part. They'll never ask the question about the makeup palette and it'll just, you know, the jury won't remember because the jury is not allowed to look at the internet and to see any of this stuff that's going on. So I was like, maybe they just won't ask her about it. They'll just pretend like it did not happen. But how do you pretend like you didn't enter something into evidence? This didn't help in Amber Heard's case when it comes down to people saying she did not have bruises on her face on the day that she claimed she did. This is not helping her case with people thinking she faked them. How does this case just keep getting crazier? What do you guys think they're gonna do? I was confused at how they were gonna fix this situation in my first video that I did, but now knowing that it's literally entered in as evidence, like how do you clean that mess up? And you know, I am actually looking forward to hearing Amber on the stand because with everything that's come out so far and the 3 weeks that we have listened to this trial, I can't imagine what she could possibly say, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she does say. You know, Johnny, he spoke for a while. He was able to tell a lot. What is she gonna say? Or is she ever even gonna get the chance to say anything because she gets impeached because that palette didn't exist, guys? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. I just had to give you guys this little update. Yesterday I posted part 1 of week 3 because I'm having to split it up because there's been too much going on. I can't keep up with anything. I'll have it linked down below in a playlist so you guys can go and watch from beginning to end on my coverage of this case with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Definitely subscribe for more updates. I'm gonna be updating as much as I can. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys soon for another video. And the next one will probably be coverage of the end of week 3 because there's gonna be a lot more to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will be seeing you guys soon for another one.